I am Karen Holmes, and this is a role-play mediation prepared for the Woodbury Institute tape assessment, and today is June 22nd, 2014. So, hello, I'm Karen.
Hi,
First
Karen.
time we're meeting.
Yes.
Cindy Denslow, is it? And how would you prefer that I refer to you?
Cindy's fine.
Cindy, okay. And Alan Bates?
Yeah,
yes?
Alan's fine.
Alan, okay. And again, I'm Karen. So I am here because the manager of this building has called me to come in and have a conversation with each of you, and I have not been able to have a phone call with each of you, which is something that I typically do before I sit down with both people. So I'll start just briefly letting you know what this process is intended to accomplish. First, I am here to help provide a space for you folks to have a conversation with one another about whatever concerns you might be having. I am a neutral, impartial third party. I'm not going to be deciding who's right or coming up with any solutions for you. That's for you folks. You know best, I think, how to do that. So, also, everything that you say here is held in confidence by me. I'm not going to be going back to your manager with any conversation here.
Well, what about him? Is he going to go back and run his mouth?
Well, that's not something that I can control, but certainly if each of you decides that that's how you want to approach this, then you can agree on that between the two of you. So that's a conversation that we can have.
There's no way that she's going to keep her mouth shut, so I'm just not going to say anything that can get me into trouble.
So I'm just going to take a second here, if I could, and continue to let you know what we've got to get some of this paperwork out of the way. I have here a memorandum or agreement to mediate, excuse me, and it pretty much just says everything I just went over. This is confidential. I'm a neutral third party. You agree that what you decide here is up to each of you, and any agreements that come out of this are enforceable only based on how you agree to move forward.
Thank you. Do I just sign here?
Yes, please.
Can I have a copy of this?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. And do either of you have any questions about the process before we begin?
I don't understand how it's going to work, but I'm willing to try.
Okay. And so, is there anything more that I can explain to you about how it might work that would help ease your mind?
I've never mediated before,
Okay.
so I really don't know what to expect other than what you've told me. And I'm very concerned about how Alan's going to behave.
Okay.
There's just a lot going on, and I don't feel safe.
Sure. Well, I'll just sort of reiterate that I'm here to help the best that I can, provide a safe place for each of you to say what's going on with you from your perspective, and in my experience, sometimes just having a conversation with the third person present who's responsible for the process helps everybody have an easier time of
She's going to make sure we don't scream at each other anymore.
Well, I mean, ultimately that's up to you, but I will do my best to help make sure that we can have a conversation, that you can have a conversation that's a little bit productive at least. Do you have any other questions about the process?
I'm okay. I mean, it smells like cat piss all over the apartment.
All right.
So
why don't we start then? I'm interested in hearing what's brought each of you here today. So,
well, she's a cat lady.
all right. Shall
she's
we?
got like
Cindy,
20
is it
cats.
okay?
And you're a crab.
Let me just back up. Maybe I wasn't clear. How I like to usually start the process is by giving each of you a chance to speak from your own perspective about what's happening. And I like to usually reserve that time as uninterrupted. And I will do my best to give you each an equal amount of time to tell me what's going on for you. But if you could hold your comments until each of you is finished with that little opening, then that's where we'll begin. And then after that, we can open up the conversation a little bit. So, Alan, do you mind if Cindy, is it okay if I begin with Alan? And
Sure.
That's okay. All right. So,
I mean, she's got, I don't know how many cats. She's taken in strays. They're all over the apartment. They piss in the hallway. I've told the manager. He said that, he hasn't seen it, but, we can all smell it. It's not like the smell's in question, so I don't think. And the other day, she dumped trash. There's like just trash everywhere, and I felt like it was right outside my door, and it's a mess. Like, the place is a mess. She doesn't keep it clean, and I can't live there. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And yeah.
okay. So you have some concerns about the cleanliness of the hallway, and is it like
that's putting it mildly, but
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's wafting into my apartment. It's disgusting.
Okay. All right. And Cindy, would you mind taking a moment to tell me what's brought you here today?
Well, I feel threatened by Alan. I heard a cat outside my window and yowling, and the next thing I know, there's rock coming through my living room window and smashed my mother's candy dish. It was one of the few things that I still had of hers. I don't know what he's doing upstairs all night long, but there's all these loud noises, and I'm a light sleeper and I can't sleep. These crashing noises, and he runs around our complex saying rumors about me that I'm crazy cat lady and that he's going to hire someone to hurt me.
So it sounds like you have a handful of concerns there about feeling safe and comfortable in your home, and also some concerns about noise coming from upstairs. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm still mad that you broke my mother's candy dish.
Whoa. I didn't break
I can't
your mother's,
replace that.
I didn't break your mother's candy
You
dish,
did
and
too,
I'm not
throwing-
hiring people to hurt
Throw
you.
rocks
That's
through my
crazy.
living room window.
All
crazy.
right. So it sounds like some things came up that are a surprise to each of you in this process.
Apparently she's spreading rumors around me. That's surprising.
Okay. So can we just take a second here for you to describe the layout of the apartments and the complex, and just, I'm here in the common room, but I haven't really gone out into the rest of the building, so I don't really have a clear understanding of how things are set up.
I walk past her apartment to get to the stairs, which lead up to my apartment, which is above hers. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how many apartments are in this building? It looks like a pretty big building, so
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of folks living in here.
A lot, but
Okay. And is it correct that each of you share one entrance to the building, and then
Mhm.
you're walking past
Yep.
Ms. Denslow's apartment to get to your apartment?
if I can get through all the trash, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that's and the
And-
trash cat. This is disgusting.
All right, so there's this common space, and then I heard you mention, Cindy, something about a rock coming through your window and cats yowling, and I'm a little bit confused about the connection between those two pieces. Can you just make that picture clearer for me?
Well, I can't believe the old fool threw a rock through my window. I could hear a cat yowling outside, and I went to my window, and then a rock came through the window, and it broke my mother's candy dish. It was one of the few things I had left of my mother's.
It was really important to you, though.
I think he was pretending to be a cat, so I would come to the window so he could whack me with the rock.
Okay, so you're concerned that there was some sort of deception going on. Now, can I just ask, when you talked about the trash in the hallway, and you said something about, the manager has addressed the trash? Or
I
not
talked
addressed
to the manager, and he talked to Cynthia over there, Cindy, sorry. He talked to Cindy, and nothing happened. I mean, he can't force her to do it. Like, I don't know. But
Okay.
But it didn't solve the problem, I guess, is where I am. So, I confront her, and,
I didn't
we
put the trash
screamed
in
at
front
each
of your
other a couple
door.
times. Where's it coming from?
I don't know who put a pile of garbage in front of your door. Maybe somebody doesn't like you.
Well, I don't know how a rock got through your window, but maybe somebody doesn't like you.
Okay.
You're the only person that I don't get along with in the building. Although you running around having rumors telling people I'm a crazy cat lady is not helping.
Well, don't bring in all the strays. Maybe you should have thought of that.
Cats are cute
So,
and fuzzy,
let me
and
just
someone has to
jump in
feed
here
them.
for a second, folks, okay? I want to make sure that I help you have a productive conversation like I intended to do. I explained that to each of you, that I would like to help you address the concerns and make a little bit of progress on some of this. So, just going to take a second to maybe take a breath.
We get worked up sometimes.
Yeah.
And so.
I can see that. And so far in the conversation, I've heard there's some concerns about noise, garbage, smell, safety, and probably communication. And have I missed any big flashing lights here?
Well,
in terms of-
I don't like the rumors about me, going around that I'm hiring somebody to hurt her. I mean, I don't know where she's getting that. So,
Okay.
For me, there's this like paranoia going on. And I don't
Okay.
think I'm a scary guy. So
Can I file that one under communication? Does that?
so if that, yeah, sure.
You want to be sure that you are not being talked negatively about to the rest of the residents of the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I mean,
what
I
about
don't-
my candy dish?
And then there's the candy dish, of course. All right.
That was
So,
my mom's.
I have just going to make a couple notes for myself because there's been so many things that have come out and I don't want to lose track of anything for you. So I have communication, and I'm just going to put rumors next to communication. And it sounds like that's something that each of you has a little bit of concern about, is
Mhm.
how each of you is speaking about each other to the rest of the residents of the building. I have noise, I have garbage and smells, I have safety, and this is why I'm making a list, because I feel like there was one more thing and now I'm missing it.
My candy dish.
I'm so sorry.
That's
Yes,
okay.
the candy dish.
It's
Okay.
important to me.
I can hear that, yeah. All right, so I'd like to try to maybe just tackle one of these at a time. We know we don't have a huge amount of time here today, and I think it sounds like there's a lot going on that we can talk about. And sometimes it helps to sort of peel them out one layer at a time and just approach it one piece. And sometimes in my experience, communication is a good place to start. If you can each agree on how you want to be spoken to and amongst each other, then it sort of lays a groundwork for getting some of the other things taken care of. So, but it's a big one for you guys also, and so that's sort of up to you. If you want to talk about communication,
I don't really want to talk to her. I just want it to smell decent. So
Okay. So for you, that's a valid piece of how to communicate, is that you don't necessarily want to have a relationship, but you do need to figure out how to address some of the concerns that are going on.
He's just prissy and particular and crabby and hard to get along with. Cats are cute and fuzzy. I don't know what your problem is. And what is it that you do all night long that's so noisy?
I don't sleep well, so I get up and, sometimes I figure I'll do some cleaning, just something to relax, whatever. And, sometimes I move some furniture around. I don't think it's that bad.
Sometimes.
So you
But
find
it's only
some
when I'm having trouble sleeping.
relaxation with the cats, and it sounds like you find some relaxation when you can't sleep and moving furniture around and
I just need something to do. It's like, what am I, it's 3 in the morning and I'm awake, so
Well, why don't you just go clean the garbage in front of your door and clean the carpet in
it
front of
ain't my
mine?
garbage and it ain't my cats
All right.
pissing on the carpet.
So let's pull it back a little bit, and I think let's start with this communication piece. So what you are looking to address, it sounds to me like, is how to communicate about noise, how to communicate about garbage, and perhaps that communication, it could either be with Cindy and maybe it's communication with the manager about how garbage gets taken care of.
We communicate through the manager at this point.
And is that
we're doing pretty well with you here, but
things break down when it's just the two of you?
Well, for
sounds
that
like.
matter, then the garbage and the carpet in the hallway is the manager's problem too.
Okay.
and
So
I don't care who cleans it up. It could be him, it could be you. It's disgusting.
Well, I didn't know you felt that way. That you agreed with me that it's the manager's responsibility to keep the premises clean.
Oh, I think it's probably yours if you're bringing in all the cats. But if he can do it, great.
So
I just know I'm not going to do it.
what is the trash situation at Camelot Estates? Is there a dumpster outside? Are you individually responsible for trash removal? How
There's
is
a
that
dumpster
addressed?
outside.
There's a dumpster outside. Okay.
But I didn't leave that garbage outside your door. It wasn't me.
Okay. So moving forward from that incident, is there, like I know sometimes in my house we have the trash cans that are outside and we have the trash can that's inside, and there's often a resting place between the inside trash can and the outside trash can. You get busy, you take the trash out, it gets full, and so I don't know, how's that working for each of you?
I take my trash out just fine. Somebody dumped a bunch of trash in front of my door.
Yeah, and I can hear that's got you pretty upset.
It's pretty gross,
Yeah.
But I'm not running around saying that I'm scared of everybody because of it. It's trash, fine. And if the manager can clean up the hallway, solves my problem.
Okay.
So, I mean, he hired you, so maybe you can tell him.
Well,
I don't
he
know.
did hire me, and as I said, this is more about me helping each of you have a conversation about how to come up with solutions moving forward. And if part of your solution moving forward is to hold the landlord to his task of keeping common spaces clean, then that's certainly something that we can put into, a final notes on the
I like
conversation
that
here.
idea because I'm getting accused of bringing in all these stray cats. They just come in. I didn't let them in, and then there they are, all cute and fuzzy. I just give them a little something to eat and a little milk, and I scoot them back out the door. How they get back in again, I don't know.
Well, they're going to keep coming back if you keep feeding them.
Okay. So the cats
Wouldn't
are...
you want someone to feed you if you were hungry and homeless?
I take care of myself. I'm okay, thanks.
Alright, so let's move back to this
Better
piece.
hope you're never a cat.
It sounds like each of you feels like the manager might be, or ought to be, more responsible for keeping the hallway clean than he currently is.
And I don't know that he's going to buy that. I mean,
Okay.
he might, and I'm happy to talk to him about it again, but last time he talked to you about it, and you're still taking in the cats, still garbage in the hallway.
I'm not
Okay.
taking them in. They disappear, I feed them a little something, and I scoot them back out the door.
Okay. And then somewhere along the way, they're finding their way back into the building.
Like how they got there to begin with. I don't know who's letting them in.
Okay. So
So if those cats just disappeared, that'd be okay with you?
What do you mean they just disappeared? Are you going to shoot them?
I'm not going to shoot them. I was just saying if they just, somebody called animal control or something, like I called pest control and they came and took them, and
You mean
I
they
don't know
take
what they
them
do
to the
with them.
Humane Society?
sure, wherever they go. Sounds great.
I
Humane
don't- I
Society
don't- I
sounds
don't want-
terrific.
I don't want anything to happen to them.
is it your sense that the cats are feral cats, or do you think that they were just stray, tame cats at one point that have gone stray? Sometimes you can sort of tell. They're really
I
scared
think
around
that-
people.
I think
or-
it was the latter, that maybe someone had them and then they didn't want them anymore and just let them go.
So if
So-
I call the Humane Society, come pick up these cats, you're going to be okay with that?
If it's the Humane Society, I don't want a pest control coming and trapping them and poisoning them and shooting them and...
Humane Society, you got a little truck.
I mean, it
Paw
sounds
print on it.
to me, Cindy, like you're concerned, obviously, about the well-being of the cats and whether or not they're treated humanely.
Exactly. What if in your next life you're a kitty cat?
And it also sounds like, Alan, your primary concern is not having the cats in the building.
It's the smell of cat piss.
It's the smell of cat piss, yeah, well. So having the cats not on the premise any longer would take care of your concerns about the smell and the odors.
Works for
And
me. I'll
for
call
you,
the
as
Humane
long as
Society.
the cats are well looked after, then that's...
Right. They don't live with me. I just feel sorry for them, so I give them a little meal.
Yeah.
Probably the only meal they get all day.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, we've abandoned this original topic that I thought we'd talk about communication a little bit, but that's okay, because I think it sounds like you've sort of made a little bit of progress on how to move forward with the cats.
I'm going to call the Humane Society. They're going to come, take the cats. Sounds like a plan to me.
How's that feel for you, Cindy? I mean,
I'm okay with that as long as someone's taking care of them and they're not
Okay.
injured.
because you've put a lot of energy into caring for them, it sounds like.
Oh, I just believe they're God's little creatures and they deserve to be here too.
Okay.
And how many are there?
I don't know.
Yeah, they come
Okay.
and go, and so
Tell them there's like 10 or 15 or something.
perhaps as long as there are cats coming and going, you can have an open line of communication with the Humane Society to...
As long as it's the Humane Society.
You get no pest control. You got it.
Okay. All right. So let's kind of mark that down as one way that part
You
of
want me?
this...
Do you want to call them? I mean,
I don't have a problem calling them.
I think I want to, because I don't. I'm sorry. We've fought a lot in the past. I don't really trust that you're actually going to do it. So, because
So maybe each of you can call the Humane Society separately. I don't
I-
think they would have
I-
any problem with
I
you
don't have
calling
any
them.
problem with Alan calling. If he
Okay.
wants to
You
call,
got
that's fine.
Okay.
But I still have a broken candy dish.
Yes. We still have to talk about the candy dish and feeling safe and all kinds of... But you're doing well, I think.
Thank you.
And how
I
do you
really,
feel?
I really want
right
to be
now?
a good neighbor, but he's just so particular. Oh my God.
So,
well, I want to be a good neighbor too. And as long as it doesn't smell in there, you know, I can do that. And you know, I have trouble sleeping. Sorry about that. I don't know what else to do to get to bed, other than to clean the house or something. I like it clean. I like.
I know you like a clean place, but I like to sleep.
so it sounds like you've sort of moved beyond this situation with the cats a little bit, and you want to start talking about...
Well, and there's the garbage too, but you know yeah.
Okay.
Well, the garbage is a one-time event that someone did to you. Just like the rock through my living room has been a one-time event that happened to me. But the cats and you moving furniture is an ongoing issue.
Okay.
I think we've solved the cat problem. We'll just keep having, because more cats are going to show up. We'll just keep having the Humane Society. Maybe the manager can look at the door and see how they're getting in. And maybe I could go outside with my little bowl of milk.
All right, Cindy, you've put a handful of things out on the table here in
Well,
terms of addressing the cats, and so I just want to capture some of that. You've mentioned that even once this sort of round of strays is gathered up by the Humane Society, there's likely to continue being more cats who come, and you're not going to close your door to them. You want to continue feeding the cats that come around.
I think
And
it's the humane thing to do.
Okay. And so I also heard you say that you maybe had a space outside or somewhere else that you could put the food.
I would be happy to put a little bowl of food outside, but it's not going to stop the cats from coming in. I have no control over that. I think the manager needs to fix the door.
Okay, so maybe if he put like a self-closer or something on the door, that would help keep the cats out of the building. And
you'll tell them about that, or is that?
I can talk with the manager about some of these things that you agree that you want me to talk with him about. Portions of the agreement that you want me to bring up with him, I would be happy to just go back with him and say.
I think we both agree that he needs to clean the hallway carpets for the sake of the cats and the garbage, And then he needs to fix the front door.
Yeah.
I think we're in agreement about that.
And look, if you're really okay with the Humane Society and keeping the cats out of the hallway, it's going to be hard for me, but, you know, a lot of the time I think the noise comes from me moving furniture, not from like sweeping. So, you know, I can, you know, it's not like I'm vacuuming up there. I'm trying to be a considerate neighbor, but
I appreciate that.
you know, you sweep, you move the table, and I'm old, and so, you know, it's not like I can put everything, but I can just try not to move stuff. I'll try to, like, do the dishes or something that's a little quieter.
Especially over my bedroom. Your living room
Yeah, I
is
know.
exactly over my bedroom, so if you could just not clean the living room, that would be really helpful.
I can do that.
All right. So this sounds again like you're really making great progress here and discussing some of the things that are concerning you. And we've put the cat situation to the side for now. And you've moved forward with talking about noise in the nighttime. You have trouble sleeping, and cleaning and moving things around is something that gives you something
Well,
to
I need to be
occupy your
moving
time.
stuff around, so I'll stop.
So you'll
Sure.
keep your insomniac activities to quiet things in the nighttime. It sounds like. It's
And that's
tough
what
with-
they are. It's, yeah,
Just
got a
stuff
little
to-
insomnia. You know, my doctor said that that's a good thing for me to do, is I can keep cleaning, and that, you know, seems to get me to get tired again and go back to bed. So,
Okay.
you know, I'll stop moving stuff.
Okay. And so that sort of takes care of some of the noise issues, and we've talked about some of the smells. And
But you know, what's going to happen if I move something around and she wakes up?
If you could just
You gonna
be
come yell at
quiet
me
in
again?
the living room.
so this sounds like a conversation that's moving back towards communication.
Yeah.
And how you want to communicate with one another
Well, I think it's important.
when
I don't-
something does come up that might bother one of you.
I don't want to get yelled at in the middle of the hallway again.
I don't think we're capable of having a conversation, a civil one anyways, and I think that we should just both agree that we call Karen whenever an incident appears.
Well, that would be fine for my wallet. However, I think that each of you are capable of coming up with some sort of a scenario that
I
will
don't
allow
think
you
so.
to.
We've been fighting for years, and he's said more than once now, even in this meeting, that he doesn't want to talk to me. So
Okay.
I would just feel safer.
You would feel safer going through somebody else.
That, I think that would be good for me. If you want to tell, you know, the manager, if I wake you up or something, you tell him, he can tell me that. That would probably work okay for me.
So your suggestion is that you communicate through the manager
I
rather
don't
than.
think you really understand how hard it is to have insomnia and not to sleep well. So,
I don't think you know how it is to be a light sleeper.
well, considering that that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying that I've got insomnia. She thinks I don't know what it is to be a light sleeper. I mean, come on.
Each of you has some issues getting to sleep and staying asleep, and so how you manage that is going to be important so that each of you can get your needs met when it comes to sleep. It's important.
My doctor keeps telling me.
Okay. And so I heard you discuss this option of calling the manager when noises get to be a problem, or
But
if they
he's
get to be
never
a
done
problem.
anything in the past. I don't know why you think he'll do anything in
Well,
the
he
future.
can come talk to me. It's better than you talking to me.
Hasn't worked in the past.
So I would like to hear.
Well, I didn't know that the noise was bothering you in the past. So, you know, I'm going to try to stop. What I'm worried about is, you know,
I think I've been very explicit about exactly what's been going on. I'm not a quiet person.
All right.
And I'm not shy.
So
yeah,
it
well,
sounds like.
that's what I'm saying, though. I'm sick of getting yelled at about it. And if you're going to help out with the cats and you're willing to have me call the Humane Society, I'll try to stay quiet. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
But if I do see cats or it smells like cat piss, I don't want to go talk to you about it. And if I make a little noise, I don't want to hear it from you. So
what I'm hearing from each of you is that you're both willing to start thinking about how to maybe be more accommodating to each other now that you've heard that Alan is willing to consider you in the night when he wakes up and try to be less noisy. And Alan, you've heard that Cindy is willing to work on addressing the cat problems. What I hear is that you've got a good start at being more amicable and communicative with each other, and right now you still don't want to go to each other with your
Not
problems.
without you here or the manager.
You still feel like you need somebody to,
She's being great now, but
things break down quickly.
and I
And
lose
you
my
have-
temper
And
too.
there's
So
so many rumors going around about him hiring someone to hurt me, and I just don't feel safe alone with him.
Okay, so for now you still need somebody to help you communicate when things come up. So you've talked about this idea of working through the manager, but you have some concerns about that because in the past, when you've gone through the manager, there haven't been any results. And I'm wondering if you think there might be better results since each of you has this seed of willingness to cooperate with each other a little bit more, or if you think that communicating through the manager is still going to be
I think the
fruitless.
manager's useless.
well, I don't want to hear it directly from her. So either yeah, or the manager. But
I'm
if something
willing
goes
to
wrong,
try
I
the
don't want to be in
manager,
touch with
but
her.
I have no faith that it's going to work.
Well,
And
it's
so
not like we're
plan B
asking.
could be Karen. I feel safe here.
Okay. All right. So you've made some great progress here in this conversation, and I just want to sort of touch base with you again about the plan for the cats is, for now, Alan is going to call the Humane Society to see about
Ooh, yeah.
getting the cats into the shelter so that they can get adopted into loving homes. And for you, Cindy, that's a reasonable solution, as long as the cats are being well cared for. And you also talked about moving the food that you provide for the strays outside so they don't have to come into the apartment building in order to be
Because
fed.
there'll be more, they'll be back.
Right. And so, while we're on
They
the
need someone
subject
to love them.
of that, I'm wondering if you want to consider continuing when more strays come to continue to notify the Humane Society.
Well, I'll call
as
them
they
every time
come?
I see one.
Okay.
But
and is that going to be? That's going to be okay with you if Alan continues calling the Humane Society as more cats turn up?
And maybe you could do that when you see one, because basically, if it smells like cat piss, I'm going to call the Humane Society and say there have been cats around. But if you can tell them that they're coming, rather than feeding them all the time.
Okay.
Are you really going to call them?
Yes, I'll call them.
Okay.
But I'm still putting food out because they deserve to eat every day just like us.
So, and then you've also discussed this idea of the manager coming in and getting the hallway cleaned up and perhaps putting a self-closer on the door to keep the cats out of the hallway. And so I think that that's fairly decent progress for today, and I'm wondering if in the next 5 minutes that we have here, if there's
Well, I said I'd try to be quieter at the night too.
I'm sorry.
So I don't
Thank you
want
for
to
keeping track of that.
I'm I don't want it to seem like she's doing all of everything, and I don't want you going back to the manager saying that I didn't do anything, and
Yeah.
I'm not
Of course.
playing nice or anything.
Thank you for reminding us of that. And so noise in the night is, I just was distracted from my list, and I apologize for that. That's an important thing to have talked about. So we still have the issue of the candy dish that was very important to you that was broken.
You're never going to admit that you did that.
I didn't do it.
Continued communication and how that's going to work out and feeling safe and
Are you going to admit that you've been spreading rumors around that I'm a
Not
crazy
spreading
cat
rumors
lady.
around you, and you're dumping garbage in front of my house. So
So some things have happened to the past to each of you that's made you feel unsafe or unwelcome in the apartment building. And I'm just gonna make a suggestion that working within the agreements that you have made here today, that you see how or if it changes the overall atmosphere of.
I don't think it's going to change much about, I mean, this isn't going to help with the rumors, so, I mean, the rumors are there because you're
Well,
taking
maybe
care of the
you'll
cats all
stop
the time.
saying those rumors if the cats are gone.
Sure.
I'm willing to try. I think it's a great idea.
Okay. So I'm just gonna make some notes about what you've discussed here today, and I will send those notes to each of you. And if you feel like there are any great inaccuracies in what I've written down and summarized about what went on here today, then please feel free to call me.
And you'll talk
because
to the manager.
Because you requested, I will bring it up with the manager, the pieces that were discussed, and I can't make him do what you've requested, but I can let him know that it was part of the discussion that happened here. And what happens after that is really up to him and each of you. So while I'm willing to pass that information along, I just want to be very clear that it's not something that I'm able to enforce for you.
So are we just going to give them the notes from this conversation? Is that what's happening, basically?
Well, that's entirely up to you. If you're, I will bring those notes to each of you first, and if you're comfortable with sharing what's in those notes with the manager, then that will be up to each of you to do that. But for now, whatever I've written down and whatever I bring to you will be only for the two of you to look at, and nobody else at that point. But I will just, the manager is paying for this mediation here today. He expects some sort of follow-up communication from me. So I'll just let him know that we discussed getting the hallway cleaned and the front door repaired so that it closes
I'll be in touch
automatically.
with them about the hallway.
Okay.
And getting it cleaned up.
Okay.
Because, if it was you or if it was somebody else dumping trash in front of my door, I don't really care at some point. I just want it cleaned up,
And
you said it's a one-time thing, so whatever.
Okay.
I'll be in touch with him, and I'll be in touch with him about the door that you were saying, and I'll be in touch with him about the fact that the Humane Society is going to be here picking up the cats.
Okay. And in the
wanna
meantime,
clean-
you've also agreed that you're still not comfortable.
I'm just ready for this to end.
Okay. And do you mean this mediation or the relationship?
This arguing all the time, and
Okay.
I'm tired of it. I just want
Yeah.
some sleep.
It takes a lot of energy to not get along with somebody. I understand that. So, but like I said, I think that, and it sounds like each of you agrees that this has been productive for each of you to be able to have this conversation and move forward on some of these topics today. So I will write up the notes. I will send them to each of you. You've each agreed that you would rather not communicate directly with one another. As the issues arise, you'll bring it up with the manager. If that doesn't seem to work out, then you're welcome to call me, but I think we should just meet again.
Calling.
I think we should just meet again in, say, another week or 10 days after you've had an opportunity to feel out how some of this is settling in for each of you, and then we'll come together again and work on some of the other issues that we noted at the beginning. Does that sound like a good place to finish for today?
That sounds good.
Okay. Great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.